What is going on, everybody? Today's live stream is going to be all things funnels and personal brands. And the one funnel that I would highly recommend you have inside of your business if you are a personal brand. So a coach, consultant, thought leader, influencer, if you will, of any sort. You want to stick around and watch this video because I'm going to break down what the funnel process is, what exactly a funnel is, and the one specific type of funnel that's really going to help you generate qualified leads. So one of the biggest problems that a lot of my personal brand clients have is twofold. One is they don't have an online presence that truly gives them the credibility and authority that they truly have. So they just don't have that look and feel online. And the second thing is they do not have a systematic process to generate a lead and convert that lead into a customer, which leads me to the question of what exactly is a marketing and sales funnel. So to break this down as easily and as simply as possible, a marketing and sales funnel is simply a series of landing pages or website pages that lead a prospect through the sales process into buying a product or service. So step one is we have to generate the lead. So we need to grab their contact information and get our email list built, because you'll hear me say this 1,000 times. We cannot rely on social media alone to build our audience, because God forbid one of these platforms goes down, our entire business, our entire audience is gone. So what we want to do is extract the interested and create our own database of emails and contact information. So you can do this in a very easy way. I'm not going to get into the details there because I want to stay on point on this particular video. But we want to grab those leads and take them into our world and build up our database, because that is a email list and that is media that we own. We're not leasing that space like we are on social media. That is emails that we tangibly own, that we can market to whenever we want. So that's the key there. So that's step one of the funnel, is to generate the lead, get their contact information into our database. The next step is to convert them into the sale, okay, and get them to actually buy one of our products or services. So I speak from experience here. I'm not going to tell you anything that I've never tried or have never accomplished on my own or experienced on my own. There's two types of funnels that worked really, really well when it came to scaling my business online. The one funnel I'm going to talk about today is the webinar funnel, okay? There's 1,000 ways you can create a webinar funnel. People are getting really, really savvy with it. I could tell you the webinar funnel has definitely evolved over the years. 2, 3, even 4 years ago, people had the time to sit on a 2-hour webinar and go through this whole process, and at the end get pitched this, a high ticket offer, whether it be $1,000 or $2,500 or $5,000 or even $10,000, right? People had the time to do that back then, and people weren't as market aware of what the hell was even going on. So they would sit through these long webinars and then get pitched at the end. And some webinars were better than others and made a lot of money, and everybody was happy, but some didn't do the viewer justice, and a lot of people got pissed off, and now they're like, well, I'm not going to watch webinars no more, because they're all trying to pitch us something at the end, right? They're all trying to sell us something at the end. So if you're transparent and you tell them up front, like, that's what we're going to do here, then you'll have a different response, right? What's going on, Annalie? Welcome to the stream. So so we're going to talk about the webinar funnel today. So let me break this down for a second, right? What does a webinar funnel do? And why is it important to have? So one of the biggest problems, again, is building trust, credibility, authority online. We all may have a great product or service, yet we do not know how to market. We do not know how to articulate the value behind what it is that we do. And we get on this hamster wheel, and it's frustrating as hell because we know what we want to say, but every time we try to say it, it doesn't come out the right way. Or we don't have a system in place that will smoothly bring a prospect or someone of interest down our pipeline into a buying conversation. Right? Most personal brands, the way they market their service or product is somebody reaches out and is interested. Next thing you know, they jump on a phone call or they're going back and forth in a private message. 9 times out of 10, it gets long-winded. You're an hour or 2 hours deep or days deep into this conversation. It's a complete waste of time because they're not really interested anymore. Because here's what happened. You did not show them a clean way of enrolling into your program, so they lost trust and they lost interest immediately. I'm not pointing fingers here because this is exactly what I used to do. I used to put out, samples of my work online and all of this on my Facebook page and Instagram, and I would get people interested, but then everything would break because I didn't have a system. I didn't have a funnel to funnel these interested people down the pipeline and into a sale. So I would fumble with these conversations, 9 times out of 10 say too much, or completely talk them out of the deal. And that was my fault. I should have had a funnel in place that did all of that pre-framing and pre-selling for me. So when they did get to me, that they were 80% there to buy, and I just had to sit there and basically tie the bow at the end and say, is this a good fit for you or not? That's what your funnel's supposed to do for you. It's supposed to pre-qualify and pre-frame your prospective buyers and help them build trust in you, your credibility to them, and the authority. Why should people listen to you? Why should people buy from you and not anyone else? Well, this is what a webinar funnel could help you do tremendously. I'm going to share with you quickly how a webinar funnel is typically structured, so you have an idea of what this looks like on a visual, okay? So you're going to typically funnel people in from social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Let's link up Twitter here. Oh, I forgot to link up Twitter. Let me go back. Let me go. So, and they're all going to come in through social media. But what we want to do is we want to bring them to a webinar registration page. So that's landing page number 1. Okay. Later on this week, I'm going to show you an example of a killer webinar registration page that we designed for one of our clients that had all the elements needed to bring these folks through. So when you drive all of that traffic to that one landing page that promotes your webinar, you're going to grab their name, you're going to grab their email address, you may grab a phone number if you do text message marketing, and that landing page is going to tell them why they should tune in and sign up for this webinar, web class, or video training, whatever you want to call it, okay? That should be the sole focus of that landing page, is to simply sell them into watching the webinar. That's it. So once they get through there, they opt in, and now you can either do the webinar or web class live, or it could be pre-recorded, which in internet marketing world, we call it the auto webinar or the automated webinar. Okay. Either one works. I was taught and I was trained to always do your webinars live for a year before you automate the process. Now that's a bit much. Depends on how frequently you do the webinars. But I highly recommend you do them live several times before you try to automate them or pre-record them, because when you do them live, you're going to get some great interaction with your audience. That's going to help you tremendously tailor the webinar presentation down the line so that it's more accurate, more impactful, and it handles the objections or the questions that your audience is asking during the webinar. Robert Molinet says, lunch with Henry. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. So that's phase 2, is to actually showcase and present the webinar. So that's the second landing page in the funnel sequence, okay? The next funnel page in the process is the webinar replay. So now that you got their contact information, 9 times out of 10, there's going to be a handful of people that don't show up. So we want to be able to present to them the replay. So we have a series, we have an email or 2 that go out that promote the replay. So that's landing page number 3. Now, after that, what we want to do is we want to follow up with a sequence of emails to build upon what it is that we presented in the webinar. So email number 1, email number 2, and you can space these out however you feel necessary. If you're aggressive, you could do 1 a day for 3 days. You could do 1 every other day. It's completely up to you. But this is a very high level view, and this is one of the most simplest webinar funnels that you could create. I don't want to get too technical. There's a lot of bells and whistles you can add to this to make it like crazy. Like you can add in between, you could add pre-frame videos. So for example, they'll sign up for your webinar, right? And then let's just say your webinar's in 2 days, right? You can have emails in between the opt-in process to pre-frame them for the show. So get them like ready to buy really what it is that you're trying to promote on the webinar, right? But I don't want to get too technical here because a lot of you guys are new to funnels, and I just want to show you the very simplistic model right now, okay? This is novice, this is baseline stuff, right? We can get really technical with this stuff and build this thing out crazily if we wanted, but that's not the point of today's video. Today's video is to simply share with you how a webinar funnel can be used for personal brands to help them build credibility, to help them build authority, and to systematically attract a lead offline or online to a database that will help them build a list, build an audience that they can market to later on down the pike. Robert Unique Courtney says, good stuff, Henry. I appreciate you for watching, brother. Hope all is well. Now, what does a webinar have to have in it? So what does the presentation of the webinar need to have in it? Let me stop share. What does a webinar presentation need to have in it so that it's actually effective? Okay, so there's a few things, right? I just finished a mini webinar, which is about 10 minutes, 10 minutes long. I did that last night, and I had all these elements inside of this little mini webinar. I'm noticing that the shorter these webinars are, the longer, well, the more people are going to watch it through to the end. Okay. So if you could pack in these elements in 10 minutes to 15 minutes, you're going to be able to sustain their attention, and you're going to be more influential and more impactful. So here's a couple of things that a webinar presentation needs to have in it so that it's effective. The first and foremost, guys, it needs to present a problem. So if you don't know who your ideal customer is and the pain points that they are going through right now, you're going to have a hard time presenting the problem that a lot of your customers are facing right now so that you can throw salt on that, problem and really, again, I'm going to get to the second part of it, is agitate the emotion, agitate the issue or problem that your specific customer is having. So again, I'll use myself as an example. The big problem here is systematically generating leads online for my clients, right? Especially if you're a personal brand, okay? Agitating the emotion is saying, okay, the emotion here is maybe they're getting unqualified leads. So they're getting their time wasted by tire kickers and time wasters, right? They're getting people to book consults, but they're not showing up on the call. Used to happen to me all the time. That's why anytime you book a consult with me, it's a $200 fee. It is what it is. I'm weeding out the nonsense. And I'm very vocal about this up front. Very vocal about this. I have no problem paying somebody $200 if there's value there and they have showed and proved their authority and credibility and they know what they're talking about. Okay. But if I'm serious about something, I don't mind paying $200. Okay. I have a lot of clients. Oh man, I don't know, $200. I don't understand. Like, why would I pay that for a consult? Well, by the end of that call, you're going to get so much clarity and focus. The call's going to pay for itself 1,000 times over long term. That's number one. Number two, I want to make sure that you're serious about building your business and building your personal brand, because I don't want to waste my time either. Now, I don't want to waste yours if you're not really truly committed. There's got to be skin in the game for both of us, guys. Period. So, Marquise Jones is a solid content from the brand doctor. I appreciate you, dude. Okay. So, step one is to present the problem in the webinar. Step two is to agitate the emotion. Step three is to really showcase how you've helped other people in the past. So you may want to show testimony. You may want to show case study. It's not a may. You should. This is a must. This is a must. If I'm going to give you 15 or 20 minutes of my time of this webinar, it better be worth it. I better leave that webinar knowing something new. Period. Otherwise, I'm going to have a bad taste in my mouth about that webinar, and I'm not going to buy from you. I'm not. Okay? So what's going to help me make my decision? Well, I want to see proof. I want to see testimony. I want to see how you've taken someone from point A to point B. So you can showcase that. Here's a before, here's an after. So we have Robert Molinet here live with us today. Okay. He has a landscaping business here in town. What I would do if I was Robert is I would have before and afters, or I would show the evolution of how he transformed somebody's backyard. They started with this, and we walked him through the process. So as he's building out his project, he's taking pictures along the way. He may even be doing video on what he's going to be operating on first, second, and third, whatever the case may be. And he documents the whole process. Now he can edit all that information into let's say a 5-minute clip or a 3-minute clip even, if we go tight with it. And he can showcase the process and then show me the final result. That presentation is going to wow the hell out of me and really help me understand the process that he takes his clients through when he's transforming someone's backyard. And I got to tell you, Robert does some serious work too. Anybody that lives locally here, you should definitely check Robert's work out. It's absolutely stunning. Right? So that's what I mean by showcasing proof and case study. So how many of these do you do per webinar? If you have 3 as a minimum, and you don't have to get long-winded about it, here's basically the structure of any case study. Okay? You want to present the problem, and highlight the pain point. You want to share the strategy. You want to showcase the solution, and then you want to show them the end result. That's the case study structure. This is how you build strong presentation, especially in a webinar. So rinse and repeat that 3 times, along with really showing the problem that these folks are facing and how you could potentially solve this issue for them. You're going to wow the pants off of them. And they're going to be like, well, I want you to help me with this. Well, what do? At the end of every presentation, you have to have some sort of call to action. Okay? So what do? We have to have the next funnel step, which is a landing page that tells them what to do next. Maybe they're applying to work for you. I work off of a very strict application base, especially for the Funnel Sprint program, right? It's a new program out. It's high intensity. It's quick turnaround. It helps you build up your lead generation system in 2 weeks or less. I want to make sure that you're a good fit for that program. So I'm going to tell you to go to this landing page and fill out this application to see if you're a good fit. You may have an order form page where you could send them straight to the order form page. They put in their credit card information, boom, they're enrolled. Next step is onboarding process. So you're systematically driving these folks from prospect to paying customer. And I just find webinars to be the best way. I find video being one of the best ways to communicate with your audience. I happen to become very comfortable with video. I know a lot of people, don't like the way they look or don't like the way they sound, and just get out of your own head for a second. Listen, this isn't about you. This is about helping your customers get through a issue or help them solve a problem. So when you start to think, all right, I'm going to jump on this video and I'm going to help these folks get through whatever it is, and you completely eliminate yourself from the ego, you're going to get much more comfortable online. You're going to get much more comfortable on video. So real quick, I want to just showcase again what the webinar funnel sequence looks like. And again, this is a very simple model. There's a lot of bells and whistles you can add to this, but this is a very simplistic model. This is like the baseline model if you're buying a car, right? So everybody's coming off of social media. You may be running paid ads or whatever the case may be, but you lead them to a very specific landing page that tells them what they're going to learn and why they should watch this thing. And if you know your customers well, they're going to want to opt into this. So they opt in, they give you their name, their phone number, their email, and now they either come to a live recording of the webinar or class, or it's pre-recorded. Again, I highly recommend that you do these live several times before you automate this, because it's really going to help you understand who your audience is, what their objections are. And then when you get those objections, you weave them in to the webinar. So like, for example, you may be thinking that this doesn't work for me. Well, here's how it works for personal brands, right? And then you answer that objection. So there may be a point where your webinar gets a little bit longer at times because you're adding in all these objections. As you get better at your webinar presentation, you'll be able to nail this in one slide and just keep it moving. I highly recommend that you keep these webinars short. So again, 10 to 15 minutes at the most. And make sure that you do 3 things inside the webinar. One is to present the problem, agitate the emotion, smoothly design them a solution. So showcase your testimony, right? State why they should be paying attention to you up front. That's another one. But you have to show them how you've helped other people in the past, okay? Then you design a solution and you call them to action at the end. So you either have to apply for our service, you have to sign up and pay some sort of fee to get into the program. I appreciate you, Pam. This is very helpful. You're the best. Thank you for sharing all of this. This is like a mini webinar itself already. Tons of nuggets. Cool. Yeah. Again, I'm a practitioner. I learn by doing, and I also want to showcase that I practice what I preach. Okay. And I've created tons of webinars over the past 13 years to figure out what works, what doesn't work. So I'm trying to help you fast track here. And the reason why I keep looking over here is because I have some notes. And I want to make sure that I hit all the points here before I get off this live. All right. Basically what a funnel is going to help you do, specifically webinar funnels, is it's going to help you create that personal connection between you and your audience member, just like I'm doing here. You know, I'm interacting with Pam and Robert and Marquise and I didn't see Nicholas. What's up, Nicholas? And Anna Lee. I'm engaging with them as I go through this presentation. Okay. So here's my call to action. Okay. Watch this. So I'm going to put in the comments here, I'm going to put my call to action. So we have a new program. It's called the Funnel Sprint. And this is my 2-week intensive program that will help you build out your lead generation and qualifying funnel to help you qualify more leads. So we will do all of the heavy lifting for you. We will do the design work. We'll do the copywriting. We will do all the integrations in tech. We will do a strategy call before we get started on everything, one-on-one with me, so I can map out your game plan. Then we build the whole thing out. We set it up, and we just tell you what to do. We are actually going to build you, we'll actually design you 2 ads and a video ad to help you promote it so you can get people into it. So I'm making sure that I leave no bases uncovered here, okay? This is how you do it. This is how you do it. So I know a lot of you guys are like, oh, this sounds like a lot of money. It's not. It's very affordable, and probably with 1 or 2 clients, you'll be able to make your investment back. That's how affordable I'm making this process. Okay. So if you're interested, you can go to Funnel Sprint, Unique Designz.net /Funnel Sprint Consult, and it's going to help you get an understanding of my process and see whether or not you qualify for the program. You have to have a product or service already. You have to have people in your, you have to have sold something already. Okay. This is not for somebody who's just starting out that doesn't have a product or service yet. You have to have something to sell for your funnel to work. Otherwise, why are they coming through it? Okay. That's one of the things that I really want to emphasize here. Okay. So I hope you understand now a little bit more about what a webinar funnel will do for you and the steps that you take them through to help nurture them, to help build credibility, to help build authority, to showcase your work and testimony. That's what's going to help you build a very strong personal brand and build that connection between your business and the people that you truly want to serve. So that's it in a nutshell, my friends. I got to go get some lunch because I'm starving. The little guy screaming in the background. Of course, every time I go live, he's got to throw his 2 cents in, but I love him. Any questions, comments, drop them down here, and I will make sure that I get back to you as soon as possible with any further information that can help you, build a strong funnel for your business. So have an amazing day, guys, and I'll catch you on the next stream real soon. Bye-bye.